oh, I can sort of fix it. So in the last video we took a look at the overview of this Marchant KE. Now it's time to dig into it and see if we can fix it. So we'll start by taking off this cover so we can get a look at that drum and see how bad it is. So there's supposed to be 4 total screws in this. Usually most of them are missing. You can see one's missing there. And one's missing there, and this one is pretty well bent over. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. If we can bend it back without breaking it off, hopefully. So, turn it out. That'll probably have to be replaced. It's a pretty small suit, I'm actually not sure what size they are. So this is, oh, there it goes maybe. It's probably not even the right screw, look how long that is. I don't think that's the right screw fit anyway. Maybe that's why it was sticking out when it got bent over. So now this should just lift off. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. So you can see these here are the back of the keyboard levers, and these run up to pieces here, which you can see when I wiggle that, it wiggles this piece, which is the rotating piece that is the setting for the number you want to input. Here's our drum. From this angle, it doesn't actually look too terrible, really. And that's interesting. So see this hole here and here? We can get a little bit closer in there. So there's a hole right here, and there's another hole right here. So you can see that side of it. And then they've got a cutout here. So that is where a shaft goes in for the electric version. The motor, oh, there's a nut in here. I wonder what that's from, that's interesting. Anyway, the motor on the EA has a plate that slides in the back and basically bolts in right in here. And then they have a gear reduction mechanism here. And then this shaft here has a gear on it with a dog clutch. So when the motor is running, that gear is always spinning. I think it's the shaft, maybe the shaft is always spinning. And then the gear engages with, I believe this right here. Is that right there or something on this side? I think it's this right here. And then when you release the dog clutch, the spinning shaft engages with that gear and drives the machine. Pretty sure it's this one right here. That would make sense because it's like, I see right where the gear would be right here and it would drive that. Unfortunately my EA isn't here right now. I would do a side-by-side comparison, but basically that's what they did there. And then these holes in the bottom here, probably one of them is for the motor mounting plate, I think. And then the other one would be part for the multiplication mechanism. The multiplication mechanism has a gear with a rack down in here. So when you push a key down, the rack advances until it gets to the right position and then it knocks out the multiplication. But anyway, kind of interesting. So you can see when I lock the handle, you can see this drum tries to move. This one does not, so probably is a problem with these being swollen. But when you look at them, they don't look that bad, really. It's surprising, actually. They're actually pretty grease covered too, or dirt or something. I think it's just grease. So anyway, nothing obvious yet as to why it's jammed, but I'm still suspecting this drum. Maybe they just got swollen on the one side. So we can take off this handle here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a different way of disassembling this time. So I think when I did my EA, when I did my EA, I left the bottom on and took the carriage out. And then in the last video with the XL, it was completely disassembled when I got it. I think what I'm going to do this time is take the bottom off first, leaving the carriage on, and I'm going to try and drive those 2 pins in each side of the carriage bed plate. There's 1 in each side, so there's 2 in total. You can see one of them right here. I'm going to try to see if I can drive those pins out, and then when I take the screws off the carriage bed plate here, with the bottom off, theoretically this side should just slide right off. With the XL it was kind of difficult because I put the bottom on first and then try to get the carriage bed plate in second, and then it was kind of difficult to do that. So I'm going to try it this way, and we'll see what we can do. So what else has to come off here? Keyboard has to come out. So there's screws on either side of this plate up here that I'm going to remove. You can see this shows you which column goes up to which accumulator position, which is kind of cool. They got rid of that in the later machines. I think that's a cool feature. See if this will lift off. So this comes off. Then this plate should come out. That drops off all the decimal indicators. And then you have to take this plate off the bottom here. And all these decimal indicators should come right out. And it actually looks like these are pins. I think on the EA they had screws in here. That's kind of interesting. I'll take this front plate off too. So inside there is a taper pin in this piece. I hope I don't have to take that out because it'd be very inconvenient. So I'm going to take this front cover off. No, so this front cover is not coming off at all with this in here. But I think there's 2 screws on the bottom here. I wonder if I think those go into a support for the bottom of that shaft. So I wonder if I can just take these out, and then hopefully that whole shaft should come out. I'll get that later. There we go. Kind of. Well, kind of. Alright, here's the screws. Well, maybe. Or showing the right thing. So it kind of comes out. I'll just be stuck on something. I'll have to look into that. But at least now we can see these screws here, which for some reason I thought were on top, but are actually down in here. So I don't think there's anything at the back, if I remember correctly. See if we can take one of these out. That should. I have to detach in the back first before they want to come out. But also because this plate is still on. Let's loosen this up. I remember these being a pretty tight fit. And it was kind of weird on like the EA because there's like no dowel pins to hold these plates in. This screw is incredibly tight for some reason. There's no dowel pins to hold these plates in, but on the EA, if you get this plate, I'm taking out now, misaligned, then the multiplier doesn't work properly. So it's kind of odd to me that something so critical was just held in place, not any sort of detent or anything. It was just held in place by these little screws, and that screw seems bent as well. We can you can see all that is, it's got just the 3 pins. Okay, so this one's supposed to latch in, and then that one releases it. So we got that out, and then here's the mechanism that would ride on. See if this is any looser. No, not really. I'm gonna have to take this bar out for these to slide out. We'll see. I would kind of like to get the carriage off, but I won't be able to do that because you can't move the carriage while the machine's in a cycle, and the machine can't get out of that cycle because it's jammed. So I'm going to take all the rest of these screws out and then probably look in the back and remind myself how to detach these. Actually, I don't even have to, because the rod down here, I can't really see that, I don't have a good angle here. This is the rod here that they push on. So these one actually just lifts off the top. Like I said, it's been a while since I worked on one of these with the keyboard, so I have to remind myself exactly what everything does. So that means I'm going to take the rest of these screws out to the front, and then we'll see where we are. And you can see right in here, this is where that lever latches on to the rocker in the back here that goes up to drive the digit selector. So I've taken the bar out of the front, see if we can knock this loose now, and now we have to get that off of there like that. And you can see what that assembly looks like. So this would be, spring loaded like this, and then when you push a key down, see it pushes down on that lever, which in turn moves this back piece, to the correct position in order to move the rocker here to drive the selector to the correct position. So I'm going to go through and take all of these out. It's going to be kind of difficult because, let's see if I can show this. You can see right here this slot, so that shaft goes in that slot, and that's why it doesn't easily come to the side to slide off of the that pin in the back. So I'm going to work on getting all these out, and then I think we should be able to move on to taking the bottom off, and then hopefully taking the carriage bed plate off. We'll see how that goes. So I got all the keyboard pieces out. You can see how this shaft here just goes back right like the XL would. Now I was thinking about this, I actually think that maybe this back piece is a little bit taller than the XL to make room for the additional keyboard pieces underneath there. We can double check once you get this thing all working and finished up. You can compare it to an XL and see if there's any size difference, but I'm kind of thinking that there is. I'm kind of thinking that they had to raise this up, this whole piece in the back, to make room for that. So anyway, I'm going to take the front plate off of this carriage here because I need to see if I can get this plate here off. And the reason for that is normally when the machine is in the home position, you can just take this off and then slide the carriage out. And because it's not in the home position, it's partway through a cycle, the carriage is blocked from sliding. So let's see if we can take the rail. Basically, that's like the top of the rail for the carriage. See if we can take that out and then like lift the carriage out instead of sliding out usual. And of course, this is pretty well stuck in there. So let's see if I can. There you go. Pop this out here. There. can see it just has dowel pins there in the middle, and it has a cutout there. That's your end points. It'll hit on this lump here to prevent the carriage from going too far. So that would have to come out anyway in order to slide the carriage out, but like I said, we can't slide it out, so we can get this off, which is going to be kind of annoying because the carriage is going to be in the way of some of these screws. So I might pause for a minute while I do this. Yeah, so it's going to be a hard one. It wasn't that tight actually. See how dirty this thing is. Have to come pretty much apart for cleaning. I can't even see where all the screws are. Yeah, so let me, oh, that's a nice piece of crud. You know, there's this part of the window. Ever since I got this machine, it's been leaving window cones behind wherever you set it. Okay, so we kind of went into a problem here, and that is this end piece of the carriage is directly on top of the last screw in this plate that I need to take out. You can see this end is free, but nothing will happen because this has dowel pins in it, so you actually have to lift it up and then out and off, and we can't do that because we can't get this screw out because we can't move the carriage at all. The carriage is as far as it moves.